Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Messenger of the Covenant. Messenger of the Covenant. Breaker of the seven seals. Let's bring in our audio audience. That's Fire Zone. This is the Black Alert section. Black Alert at hour of the Fire Zone. Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, we're going to just talk about the judgment. Now, most of you that have heard anything about the judgment were misled. You know, our people have been misled for 400 years. You were programmed against yourself from 1555 until 1619. It took 64 years to program you to produce the first Negro butts. Strip you of everything that your history, knowledge of self, customs, humanity, everything. And the first Negro bus rolled off the assembly line in 1619. That's the beginning of our servitude. You were designed just to be of service in every way that they wanted. So in other words, you was just a thing designed to do whatever master wanted done to satisfy his obsessions, his wants, desires. See, no matter how wicked, sadistic, bestiality, whatever, you design whatever. That was your design. It took 64 years to design you. They programmed you for that. That's what they programmed you for. See? To be a thing. Some people call it a gimp. Be whatever they want you to be. And you were supposed to perform willingly in every way they wanted, because they programmed you to take any kind of individuality, anything from you. No humanity, whatever. You're just a robot, just like a regular robot, right? It has no feelings, anything. It just does what it's programmed to do. That's exactly what their intention was, and they achieved it to a great extent. And right now, it's self-perpetuating. See, because the robot programs the other robots. See, they take robots to produce more robots, and they just instill their programming into new robots. It just perpetuates itself. Master sits back and lets you indulge all his fantasies, all his recollections, his whatever. That's exactly what you were designed. And you're still doing that today. You still function that way today. And no one can penetrate to deprogram you. It's hard to penetrate right to your mind, because you still have a mind, but it's programmed. It's hard to break through that programming. Elijah was successful in breaking through that programming to a great extent for hundreds of thousands of people. But then they came and had Pharaoh come and reprogram you. And so now you just Negro butts. Programmed to whatever master wants you to do, period. Satisfy his every want and desire, no matter how wicked, how sick it is, you satisfy it. They have this situation in the Bible, right? for you spiritual brothers and sisters. It talks about this brass serpent on a pole. Now, I know you don't understand that. You've been told all kinds of stuff. They take you all up into fantasy land, the sixth dimension, right? What they call those people, I forget the name they use, right? But you're all over the place. But it's very simple. But you need to do some studying, some thinking, and you design not to think. Because you start thinking, they got demons ready to stop you from thinking, catch you. Hey. See, they got fear to make sure to enforce it. Because if you don't believe in Jesus, and you don't believe in this stuff I'm telling you, that they're telling you, right, their interpretation, you're going to hell forever and ever and ever. I mean, you can't make any fear greater than that. And how can anybody be punished worse than that? So they got fear to enforce that BS, that bullshit they're forcing on you. I mean, they can cover you from every angle. Like the sister Nicolette was reading about the Lynch papers. See, Elijah Muhammad talked about them. See? And that gives you a good idea, but you're not going to read them. And if you read them, it's not going to make any sense to you because you design to tune that stuff out. And whatever Master says, that's what you're going to do. See? They butt broke all the men. See, but we go back to this thing about what I was getting ready to say about this brass serpent. Now, you need to have some understanding of Scripture to understand that one. Because you have to go into, see, Daniel is the 13th chapter of the Angel. Daniel doesn't have a 13th chapter. It's only 12 chapters. But in the 13th chapter of Revelations, all the figures, the main figures of Daniel, like the bear and all that, is in there. So that's the only place it is. So they connect together. Both are sealed books to be sealed, unsealed at the end. So we're at the end now. So you have this statue in Daniel. It's gold, then silver, then brass, then iron. And you say, do you ask that question? Why those metals and why in that sequence? No, you don't ask that question. You have the mind to understand it, but your mind's been locked. It's been programmed. Not even look, not even think. See, because you start thinking, you're in trouble. As soon as you start thinking, they got all kinds of ways to stop you. First, they got the preacher. He's the first one to intervene. Well, no, actually, right? If you're a male, the female is the first one to intervene because she's the one right next to you. Hey, man, she's going to do. She naturally is going to do these things like that. Sister Nicolette was explaining, right, in Lynch papers, right, that she's the one that's the first. Elijah Muhammad said you got to be careful because she's the first teacher. So she's the one that's going to interfere. So, hey, man, she's going to try to, hey, you want to really do that? I mean, she's going to first one to step in, intervene if you start trying to think, if you start asking questions. Because she's the one that drag you in the church. Most of you wouldn't be in the church if it wasn't for your wife or your mother. Most of you wouldn't even be anywhere near church if it wasn't for your wife or your mother. Think about it. They're the ones that drag you in there because that's their job. See? Then if you get past them, right, then you got the demons. They're your friends and stuff. See, they look like you. They're skin folk. They ain't kin folk. But they look like you, and that's their job. Hey, brother, man, where you want that crap from? Let's go check the NBA. Let's go check NFL, man. Let's watch, See? Or they on TV, right? And you trying to emulate them. So that's the second line of defense. If you get past that, then you got the preacher. See? He's the one that got the threat, the hammer. See, he's the one going to drop hell on you if you don't listen to him. They got all kinds of, right? And if that don't get you, right, then the police going to bust your ass and throw your ass in prison. They got all kinds of ways to keep you from thinking, to keep you getting back to your natural self. See, to stop being a damn workhorse and be a damn stallion like you was meant to be from the beginning. Because you came over here stallions and now you're workhorses. You're just mules. See, walk around with massive names. Those ain't your names. And they're not names anyway. They wasn't meant to be names. It was brands. Depends on what master you was with, that's the name you had. And you walk around with those things proud. My name is Samuel Richardson. Is it? If you're a demon, it may be. You came over here, you came over here, come to Kenty, and now you converted to Toby. It took 64 years to do that. But they couldn't do it to the people that they brought over here. That's the story of Joseph. Joseph helped them save their ass, and he got rewarded by enslaving his children. That's the 64 year that Elijah Muhammad's talking about. It took 64 years to program you, but they couldn't do it to the ones they brought over here. They had to take and took their children and separate their children. So it'd be a complete break. See, because they couldn't trust converting you, because you could always revert back. But as they took your children, they had nothing to convert back to. They didn't know what to convert back to. They had no idea of being a stallion, being free. You remember moving in Roots, the first one, the guy kept saying, "What's wrong with you? Don't you understand freedom?" Because the guy had no connection. He had no idea. And they had to do all that work to break Cooley Kenty. But the other ones, man, they was using them to break them, because they had no idea who they was or anything. They were totally programmed, totally brainwashed, if you want to use that word. See? They had no knowledge, anything. And so they couldn't trust the Cooley Kentys. See, they had to take his children and separate them totally. And they told him, "See, you're black. See, you just like the gorilla. You're an animal just like them. How you know? You don't get no education. You don't know anything." And they raised you up as animals, told you as an animal. And they could let you read it. You weren't allowed to think. If they caught you thinking, they would kill you. What you doing thinking, boy? If they caught you thinking, they would kill you. It took 64 years to do that. And so now that's what we have right now. We've got all these Negro butts running around. It's sad. But I know the condition you're in. That's why I spent the last 30-some years, right? I spent over 50-some years, because I started out with Elijah back in the 70s. But on my own, for the last 30-some years, I've been working day and night to set you up for deprogramming. Because Elijah Muhammad had deprogrammed you, and Farrakhan came and reprogrammed you again. He reprogrammed you again back to what Master wanted. That was his job. You see? And the point is, you're not supposed to know you're programmed. So you don't know you're programmed. And you buy into all this stuff because you're supposed to. We know why you're doing things you're doing. See? But we also know that the demons, we know what they're doing, and we don't want them. And we also know the vipers. Now, those are special ones. And we're going to talk about them. We really get into this judgment thing. So those vipers, they're the ones, right? They got some deprogramming. See? But instead of using that to deprogram you, they're trying to take advantage of your programming. They're trying to take advantage of you being a Negro butt. But they want you to be a Negro butt for them. See, they're not fooling me. Talking about they with Elijah. They ain't with Elijah. They don't know anything about Elijah. All they know is maybe some videos or something. They saw something on YouTube, right? Heard what some stuff Farrakhan told them. And they got a little board up there. They don't know nothing about Elijah. They never seen Elijah, know nothing about him, nothing at all, nothing, zero. Maybe some parent told them or something. They have nothing knowledge. They couldn't have stood up with Elijah anyway. If Elijah was here, they couldn't have stood up with Elijah anyway, because it wasn't easy. See, I was FY under Elijah Muhammad. It was not easy. You sold 300 papers a week. These clowns probably couldn't sell 300 papers a year. They don't do anything but run their mouth and have no idea what they're talking about. And they tell me, "I got a message to the black man." They don't even understand what that says. See? Yeah, but they know all this knowledge, but they didn't see COVID coming. And they should, with all the knowledge they're supposed to have, they should have saw that's the easier call. 1619 or 2019. Then a plague will come that will kill the firstborn and the elderly. It's right there. And Passover us is right there. They ain't see it. They ran to that wall at 2,022 miles, 2,020 miles an hour, and hit just hard as Farrakhan did, and Silas and all the rest of them. That was an easy call. But they know everything. They have no idea what's going on and what to tell you what's going on. See, those are the vipers. We're going to deal with them. See, the demons, my deal, what we need to do with the demons is we need to just separate them from our people. But they're going to go there doing what they're going to go there doing fighting Massa. See, them and Massa going to get into it. You be to read the story of Samson. See, Samson was a demon. He went through slavery just like we did. But they took his strength from him and took his eyes from him, but he never got his strength back. He never got his eyes back. See? Because he's a demon. And so he got angry, and him and Massa went to war, and he tried to kill Massa and kill himself in the process. Same thing we see in Mark. See? Once they were separated, then they was taken, and once they were separated, they was thrown in with the swine, and then them the swine got to fighting, and he went off the cliff together. See? But the demons, the ciphers, we're going to take care of the vipers personally. We're going to take care of them personally. Because the judgment is going to take place here. So we're going to get into that. Judgment is going to take place here in America before we leave. See? So you got those vipers trying to take advantage of, because they have some knowledge. See? We talked about that in the lesson about the 10% who take advantage of the 85%. Those vipers, they fall in the 10% category. See? So I'm just getting some background here, brothers and sisters. See? So, now, we was told to submit to them, to Adam. See? As soon as he got all right, they said we all Adam. See? But then you ask them, well, then we was made to make mission shed blood then? Because that's what Adam was. That means we're all wicked. See, I mean, I don't listen to these people. They don't know what he's talking about. Anyway. We was told to submit, so we was in submission as servants. But they enslaved us and persecuted us and beat us and humiliated us, dehumanized us. See, the treatment we got is the worst possible treatment any people could ever receive from beasts. Because beasts, how would beasts treat you? Like beasts. They treat us like that because they're beasts. If they treat us like that because they're beasts, that's they show who they are. Because if they was angels, they would treat us as angels. So that proves that you can tell a person who they are by how they treat other people or treat anybody else. How would a dog treat you? See? The dog will come and give you a bone, right? He find a bone, he love you, he give you the bone, right? You don't want that bone, you can't eat that thing, but that's all he know. So beasts, all they know, because that's how they was treating each other when they was locked up in Europe for 1,000 years. They was treating each other just as bad. I mean, they didn't treat each other as bad as they treated us, because they couldn't, because they were fighting back. We didn't have the ability to fight back. But to the extent that they was able to do it, they did it. I mean, they was horrible with each other until they got us to chew on for a while, for 400 years. But they was horrible with each other. So in other words, if you're a master, if you're a sadist, right, you got beat on people, you only got so much energy to beat on people with. So if somebody give you a rag doll to beat on, then hey, that means you stop beating on your wife. That's why I tell you, if you get mad, go break some plates or something. See, because in other words, you focus that frustration on something else. And so that's what they did. They had us to frustrate. So now they in peace with each other. They get along with each other. That's not the way they were before, because now they got us to beat up on. So they can focus that frustration on us. Brother, don't you understand any of this stuff? Just basic psychology tell you that, and that's their knowledge. They had us to beat up on. So now they was friendly with each other. Because they got mad. They could just go beat. He got mad at his wife. He could beat up one of the slaves and rape her. The wife didn't want to do nothing, right? She's frigid or whatever. He go jump on the female slave. So then he's satisfied. And then he's getting along with his wife now. She might not like it. But now he's got his frustration off on her. And if he's one of those other, broken wrists, he can go and rape one of the male slaves. That's why they're so peaceful with each other now. They were never like that before. When they was in Europe, they was horrible with each other. We need to understand these things. But so they had us and they beat us and they took all their frustration on us and everything else for 400 years. And we sucked it all in. See? Because we was Negro butts and we didn't know any better. So You beat on the road, but you don't. He just said to let you beat on him, and that's what he did. Was said to let him beat on us. And like I said, they had all the different, the women. They're treating the women to make sure you stay under control. Then they had the preacher, and they had everybody, and demons to watch you. See, the demons were their children that they produce to watch you. So they come back to them, hey man, that one, watch him. He's thinking. He's doing this. He's doing that. See. And if you got past that, right, then they had the preacher. Oh man, you got to serve master, man. You want to go to hell for the rest of your life, man. You when you die, man, you're gonna meet Jesus, and he's one of them, and he's gonna get you for being mean to them, not doing what they told you to do. It. Oh man, so they got you on each level. On the emotional level, the women got you on the emotional level. The preacher got you on the mental level, right? The demons, right? They got you on the economic level, right? Make sure you do all the work. I mean, they had you on every level. These people vicious with what they was doing. And you think they don't plan this stuff out? They didn't plan it? They plan. I mean, we were the best of plans, but they're planners. But they planned all this. Okay, let's get into to the judgment here. See, judgment is when things comes out of order. Now we ain't talking about their so-called judgment. That's bullshit. Because I mean, their sense of justice is for themselves. And we can't call that racism. I mean, why shouldn't they look out for themselves? It's racism is when they come and confront us and do harm to us when we had to do nothing to them. That's racism. But when they look out for their children, when they don't fire you to put their cousin on the job, that's not racism. Wouldn't you do the same thing? If you're not, that means you stone cold Negro butt. Because you're going to hurt your own family to help answer. Because that's what you've been trained to do. You've been programmed to do. So judgment happens, I'm talking about real justice. Judgment, the way the universe works, the fundamental principle of the universe is justice. Every action has an opposite reaction. That's the fundamental, that's justice. That's one was some side equal sign, it's on the other side equal sign. That's justice. That's just the way it is. And you're not going to get past that. That's God is justice, right? That's the nature of the universe. The universe is mathematics, period. There's no other thing beyond that. Well, that's what I was thinking about earlier, metaphysics. Got those metaphysics brothers and sisters, right? Well, they're going to tell you, man, there's a 13th dimension, all that kind of stuff, all that metaphysics stuff. They can't prove that either. That's just another false religion, because religion is just philosophies on how things work. But they kind of tell you, that's the truth. No, it's their opinion. It's a philosophy of how the universe works. Because none of those philosophies can produce anything real, tangible, nothing. Only mathematics can do that. Mathematics, the only thing can bring something into existence from nowhere. None of those other ones can do it. They can't do it, they've never done it, and there's not a Hindu plane, there's not a Buddhist fuel, right? There's not Christianity electricity, there's just something that exists because they're not real. That's why I say reality starts real. See, the only thing that can bring something into existence that didn't exist before is mathematics. Well, prayer does it. That's the tool. You can bring something. But what you bring something in existence that's mathematical. You're not bringing something in existence that's Hindu or Christian. You're not bringing a Christian car in, something that's a Christian, based on Christian ideology or Christian Christian science or Christian reality. You're bringing something that's mathematical. And really, you're not bringing it in anyway, because then you're saying it is, because you're saying your prayer, that's the prayer is the way to bring something from the 10th dimension into the first dimension, third dimension, right? But why don't you bring 6th dimension, keep it 6th dimension and 3rd dimension? Because it's bullshit. And you know it's bullshit. Because if prayer worked like you say it worked, then why are you praying for peanuts? Why are you praying for peanuts? Tell me, oh man, I got a problem at the job, man, and I got this problem. I need a car to get back and forth. I'm gonna pray to God. I pray God to give me a car to get back to work. The boss is giving me a hard time, and I need to get to work, and I can't trust the bus anymore because sometimes it's late, and I got bus getting on my butt behind this because I ain't getting here on time. Man, I got to give me a car. Please, God, give me a car. Why not just pray for the whole damn job? Why not pray for $1 billion? You don't need the damn job. See, it's bullshit, and you know it. I pray for, I pray for a car. See? But when you pray for that car, right, you still got to go to the building and get it. You still got to do credit check and everything else, right? It don't just appear outside. Oh, man, I prayed for the car. Man, it popped up out there. See, it's bullshit. And you know it. You still got to go through all the procedures to get it. So if it came from God, then why you got to go to the sales room and get your credit check? If it's coming from God. God already approved it. So why you got to go he already approved it. He already said, okay, you got it. So why you got to go and ask Matt the salesman to run your credit check and all that stuff and come up with the money? If it came from God, it should be no strings attached, right? That's all bullshit. See? Stop the bullshit, brothers and sisters. Stop the bullshit. Start deprogramming yourself. Just ask questions and don't accept anything that can't be proven. Period. Because Paul said in the Bible, says, prove all things. So there you got your opening for your scripture, brothers and sisters. He told you, prove all things. He's supposed to be the patriarch. Prove all things. So if they ain't provable, then say, get the hell out of my face with it. And go and check all the stuff they've been teaching you for the last 400 years and check and see if it ain't provable, then reject it. Say, man, this is bullshit. I'm checking that stuff. You do yourself a favor. Start deprogramming, because if you don't get you're going to get deprogrammed, but some of you are going to be deprogrammed too late. See, because you're going to see you're going to get it as your throat is being cut. So it's judgment. See, if things are out of order, that's when judgment comes. See, that's consequence. When things are out of balance, that causes judgment. If things are in balance, there's no judgment. Because if things are out of balance, somebody has to correct the scale. That's what judgment is. See? So things have been put out of balance for 500 years. See? Because if they had just committed us to servitude as they was commanded and we was told to submit to, there wouldn't have been any judgment, because that was in balance, because that was the nature of the times we're living in. See? So everything was in sync with that time, no problem. But they went beyond that. They went beyond the limits, what the Quran called the limits of God. They went beyond that. See, because we were supposed to submit to their service, and they were supposed to rule, right? But they weren't supposed to humiliate us and dehumanize us and all the things they did. They went beyond the limits, and they put things out of balance. You see, if things go out of balance, then it has to be corrected. Because every action has to have an opposite reaction. That's what judgment is. You have to correct the balance. See? And what happens is when a nation is thrown out of balance, that nation will produce someone that will come and put things back into balance. They'll produce a high priest that will sit in judgment to put things back in balance, and they put a God, right, who would take and execute the judgment. So you have the judge, right? He takes the judgment, say, okay, he judges. Then you have to have an executioner if the execution is warranted. That's why you have the two. You have the high priest and you have the God. The God is the executioner, but the high priest is the judge. The judgment will take place here in America. It told you the Lamb is the one that judges, because he's the one who has the book of life. He's the one that decides who goes, who don't go. He's a judge. But Master Muhammad is the executioner. Because he takes your book and says, okay, y'all come on. And then he wipes out the rest. He's the executioner. That's why you have the two. The high priest, right? He has the judgment. He's the judge. Then you have the executioner. See? He has the power. And that's the judgment. Now I could just stop right there, if you understand. But the point is that you have to understand how's the balance. I told you how the balance got out, because they went beyond the bounds and with all the stuff they did to us. Now they got to pay for it. So they produced, in other words, this nation produced the God and the high priest, because it was out of balance. When things are out of balance, the nation will produce someone that correct the balance. That's why you see in chapter 12, it's actually two. It's a child and it's a son. The woman had a child and a son, so you think it's the same person. No, she had two. See, because she produced that to correct the balance. To correct the balance. And that's their nature. That's their purpose. That's their purpose. Master Muhammad has all the power, right? And Suleiman, he's the only one who can break the seals. Because he opens the door. When he breaks the seals, starts the judgment. You're already in judgment right now. You've been in judgment for over 30 years. You just didn't know it. See? Because he already set. He's setting. See? When he broke those seals, he's opened the door for the judgment. See? So you're being judged now. And soon it's going to come home to you very clearly. Because people are being divided now. This message is telling you. First of all, if you ever been to court before, they have discovery, right? That means you have to bring all information forward. They call it discovery. That's what Angel did. Without all the characters, demons, you know anything about no demons. You knew something about the devils, but in Farrakhan said they ain't devils anymore. The jinn, right? The whole thing about how we got here, how we was betrayed, who our brothers and sisters are, who our enemies are. All that has been laid out. All has to be laid out before you can have it, for the judgment to be completed. That's part of the judgment process. I told you the judgment process started in 1930. I mean, about 30 years ago in 1990. And so we already told you, our demons are going to be judged. It says they're going to be brought together and then they'll be cast out. And we're not going to destroy them. They're going to destroy themselves. Them and their devils, they're going to go at it. That's the demon plague, and they're going to destroy each other. That's what it says in Mark. And Samson, we understand the book of Samson. So it's Samson. They destroy each other. We're just going to separate them away from us. And then they're going to go, they're like two leeches, right? They don't have nothing to suck on. They try to suck on each other. To no avail, because neither one of them have anything, but see, they go struggle with each other. That's their problem. But the vipers, we're going to deal with them personally. Up and close and personal. See? Because on their hands are the blood of all the people that were lost. These are the people that knew something about, these are 10%ers, right? I mean, the 5%, these are 10%ers. Now I'm breaking down the 10%ers. It says they would take advantage of 85%. That's them. See, they go, oh, I got message black, what's up? So the whole idea is that this, they take, because they recognize the Negro butts, and they figure, hey, instead of educating them and telling them, point them to the Lamb, and to get their way out, I'm going to live off them. I'm going to take advantage of them. They're almost as bad as the demons. So they're trying to get their own thing going. See? So they like I said, some of them can see, understand, they see the truth, but that they use it to take advantage of the 85%. The Negro butts are still blind. They're still programmed. So we're going to deal with them up close and personal. Oh, real up close and personal. I mean real up close and personal, brothers and sisters. We're going to deal with them, and there will be no mercy for them. And the thing is that when we finish them, they're going to wish they went through the tribulation, because tribulation is going to be nothing compared to how we're going to deal with them. Because they stood in the way, and they caused a lot of our people to be killed, destroyed. Our people lost for lack of knowledge, because they was blocking it with their bullshit. See? So we're going to deal with them up close and personal. I can't say that enough. And like they said, you have no idea. I tell you, you have no idea who the Suleiman is. It says, it's a dreadful thing to fall into the hands of the Son of Man. It says, a dreadful thing to fall into the hands of the Son of Man. Why would they say that? Because he got ways to deal with you can't even imagine. That's the judgment, because you deserve it. He's going to judge. Oh, the judgment will be just, severe, and fast. But when you say severe, you better watch that word severe. Put it in quotes, severe. Christ says it will be severe. He says Allah is quick at reckoning. He says also severe. But both together, severe and quick. What do you mean severe? You're going to find out in a minute. You don't want to find out personally. because our people went through hell, and then you sitting around here on your stupid ass with your BS right here trying to get a few dig nickels out of them, trying to use them and blocking. And you're causing women and children and stuff just to be dead that deserve to get to heaven, to get this hereafter, because you sitting with your bullshit, right, blocking the way. You're going to pay for all of that in spades. You're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it. That's the judgment. See? And then the devils, see, they thought they got away with something. Now they face a judgment. You see everything around is collapsing. You haven't heard any good news in America in what, 2 years? I told you the judgment started, right? I mean, the preparation for the judgment started 30 years ago. But the judgment officially started in 2020 with the first plague. That was the opening shot. That was when, the judge come in with a hammer. What's this? It comes with the hammer. Court's in order. Court's in order. Now it's discovering everything, right? Who the demons are, the devils are, the jinn are, who our enemies are, who stole our land, who stole our identity. All that's laid out for the judge. And the executor's waiting to see who's going to be found guilty or not. See? And what's the sentence going to be? I can tell you the sentence is death. If you're found guilty, the sentence is death. That's it, period. And not an easy death, a very painful one. If you're found guilty, the devils are found guilty, the punishment is death. See? And that's too good for them, because there's no punishment really that can meet what they did. Because they went way overboard, beyond comprehension. But judgment, whoop, court's in order. See? All the information is laid out. Now trial begins. See? That's the judgment, brothers and sisters. Swift, just, but severe. Because that's what it's called for. You produce the judge and the executioner. Devils, you produce that by your actions, because everything is personified. So you produce that. You produce us, because it has to correct the imbalance. Everything has to be corrected. So you produce two that would correct the balance, to put everything back in order. See, because you threw everything out of balance with the way you was acting. You threw everything out of balance. It has to be corrected. The universe cannot go along crippled, out of balance. It just can't happen. And that's what you did. You threw the universe out of balance. And so now, we had to produce somebody to put it back in balance. So we had to produce a high priest and a God, an executioner, to put it back in balance. High priest is the judge, and the God, he's the executioner. The enforcer to make, he's the one that actually put it back in balance. The judge tells how much the judge determines that's in balance, how much out of balance it is. And then the executioner comes and puts, so okay, he got some information, right? And then he puts it back in balance. Because the judge tells him how much out of balance it is. He does discovery and everything else, says, okay, these are the people that's okay. These are innocent people. These are the guilty people, right? Bam. And then he puts a hand on execution. He can go take care of business. So the Lamb comes with the book of life, and also comes with the book of death. And he comes with the book of chastisement, the book of torment. It says they'll be tormented day and night. See, that's talking about these vipers too. Oh, we're going to deal with them. They sit around here with their bullshit. They've been warned. I've been warning for 30 years. Stop out here talking about you really like you folks. You don't know anything about Elijah. You never been with Elijah. You couldn't stand with Elijah if he was around anyway. But now you're talking all this bullshit and you're getting in the way. And you got the truth right before you. So at first they ask you, what was wrong with it? What was wrong with this truth? And then that's when their tongue comes out. See? But we don't want the tongue all the way out because we want to hear their screams. See, you ain't this ain't no bullshit. This is no Jesus walking around with some flowers and stuff, right? You gonna catch hell. This ain't playing no more. It says it's the wrath of the Lamb and the wrath of the God. It don't say anything about no, oh, well, some flower child. And you're going to see it up close and personal. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see it, but you're going to see it. You've been warned. See? You expect somebody to come along, oh, you're so nice, man, and I love you to death. That's what you're thinking? You better read that scripture again. Jesus said he said he bring a sword. He come to kick ass. And he ain't playing no games. He come to divide people, mother against a daughter, father against son, mother against daughter-in-law. See? He come to cast his enemies into hell, into destruction, to crush them. To crush them. Not to paddywhack. Oh, give him a spanking, put him in the corner, count to 10. You're going to see two faces of Suleiman. You're going to see the lamb. That's why I say you see him, the lamb and the lion. To the believers, he's the lamb. To disbelievers, his enemies, he's the lion. He's a hungry lion, right? They haven't had a meal in 40 years. He's really hungry. And he's going to eat everything he sees in sight. He's going to consume and take right existence. He's a lamb and a lion. Those with him, he says, if you're not with me, against me. Those with him, he's the lamb. That's the lamb side. But those against him, they see the lion side. See, and when they come at me with the BS, I hit them hard. Oh, why you talk so rough to these people? Because I'm letting them know I ain't playing with them. I'm giving a hint about what I'm about to do to them. See, oh man, you say bad words and stuff. Look, when you're in war, I've been in a war zone. I was in Vietnam. When you're in war, right? You'll be talking about, oh man, please, would you do this? It's a good day, man. Oh man, there's an enemy over there. If you've been in war, right? Then you know nobody care about no damn words. You'd be surprised. Somebody trying to kill you. You said MF. You said everything you can, man. You trying to survive. And that other person, he's just shitting everything else. And brother, look. I'm not gonna waste time trying to explain something that shouldn't necessarily be explained. We're at war. It's just like you say, you shouldn't lie. No, you shouldn't lie. But when you're at war, you do lie. You lie to your enemy. You're not gonna tell your enemy what's the truth. That'd be stupid. There's a time for lying too. Tell my God cannot lie. Why can't he lie? He says in the Quran that he tells you certain things just to make you feel good. He tells you that right in the Quran. Why can't he? If he can create somebody who can lie, how come he can't lie? Why is some reason, you're going to put some restrictions on him? If he wants to lie, he can lie if he wants to. He can do anything he wants to do. But he don't lie. He don't lie to the righteous. But it tells you right that Jesus said he wanted to deceive the unrighteous. He wanted to lie to them and everything else, deceive them, everything. He prayed for it. You better wake up, brothers and sisters, be real. We're at war. And we're not going to tell the enemy the truth about anything. See? Because our purpose is to destroy them, confuse them and destroy them. We're going to attack you at 3 o'clock Friday. Be ready now. That's that Farrakhan bullshit. See, next thing you know, Thursday, he got your ass on the bind because you talking about Friday, you sneak up on your ass on Thursday. Brothers and sisters, we at war. And this is judgment. See? And judges already put court in order. Gavel is hit. See? We had discovery, everything is laid out. I explained everything. I identified who everybody is. Discovery, everybody is, why they doing what they are, who our enemies are. So all discovery has been done. now court's in order. And you're going to find, right, like I said, you devils out there, you produced me. And you produced Master Prophet Muhammad. Put everything back in order. And that's our nature to do it. And we won't stop until it's done. That's our nature. And you can't change that. And so if you was evil, then we're going to show you evil. That's what it'll take to put back in order, to punish you for the evil you did. That's what it's going to take. So if you've done a lot of evil, you got a lot to pay for. It says, as you has done, so shall be done to you. So we're going to put things in order. And we're the two that's personified to do that. That's the way the judgment works, brothers and sisters. If you hadn't done these things, you would never produced us, because there'd be no reason for a judgment, a court. If you don't go out and commit the crime, right? So you commit the crime, now you put everything out, you put the universe out of balance. And so now you produce us to put it back in balance, and we're going to do that. And so the more out of balance it is, the more the work we got to do, and the more you're going to pay, because you don't want to put it out of balance, the more you're going to pay to put it back in balance. So it takes your destruction to put it back in balance, and that's what it's going to take. And according to the scripture, that's what it's going to take. It will take your destruction, total humiliation, total torment, and everything else that you can't imagine, because it's more than just your death, your destruction. It's because that would be too easy. All the stuff that you did, rape, murder, all that stuff you did, all that, it says, as you have done, so shall be done to you. And it says, it's going to come compressed. See, you have 500-600 years to do it. It don't come to you in less. See, it come to you immediately in 1 year, right? But it's going to be like 70 years of listen to the Quran, right? Of total, abject suffering before, some say it's 700 years. I say 70 years. Total humiliation, total destruction. And hell, you better read the Quran again. Hell is not some place under the ground. Fire. It says hell. It says, because we get this burst of energy, what you're about to receive in a few more days, you're going to start realizing it's already come. Because everything is momentous in the heavens and earth. It's momentous in heaven and earth, but it comes to you but of a sudden. See, we get, the universe is contracting now, so energy is coming back to us. It comes back, and they call it jubilees, approximately every 50 years. So it's coming back. Okay. So, been energized. So this one is going to cause us to break all our chains, because the first one in 18 something, right, broke our physical chains. 20 years, 50 years later, right in the 1910s, 1920s, we started breaking mental chains. We started getting jazzy and everything, because first we had the blues. Remember, blues came out back then in the 1860s. Then jazz came out in the 1910s, 1920s, around there. We started getting jazzy because we started getting our mental back, because we had Manjoba Drali, we had Marcus Garvey, we had Elijah Muhammad, whatever. So right? So then, started getting a little jazzy, right? Started getting, thinking about African stuff. Then 50 years later, the Motown sound. Then we started getting, Black and Proud and stuff, right? So afros and all that kind of stuff. See, the music tells the story right there. So check that out. If that music had come out every 50-year period to change the music, now we do for another change. But we broke our first our physical change, then mental, then social, right, in the 60s, and now we're about to break all chains. See? Now break all chains. So you're about to get this real burst of energy. But this energy, what this energy is doing, see, because it says this energy is going to be, because we've been suffering energy deprivation, this energy is going to take and rejuvenate you. It's going to be, it said, they talk in Malachi, the sun of righteousness will rise with healing is wing. Some of you are going to go back, it's going to be so much energy, you're going to have so much energy, your body, because you're not suffering old age, you're suffering wilting. So some of you are going to, just like a plant, it don't get no nutrition, don't get enough sunlight, it wilts. It's not old. But as soon as it gets there, it trends back to real health. You're in wilting, you're not old age. So some of you are going to get back, most of us, all of us are going to be re-healed. Some of you are going to be acting like you were 16 years old. This is about to happen. It says you'll be changed in the twinkling of an eye. But that's what happened to everybody, even the devils. That's what the Quran says. They're going to be so healthy in hell because we're going to lock them up, those that survive, right? They're still around. We're going to lock them way up far north as possible. We're going to keep them locked in. See? They're going to have strong guards to keep them locked up in there. They're going to have no family ties, anything. They have no food, be refuge. They're going to eat each other. That's another story, right? But it says their skins, they're going to be so healthy, their skin will be healthy, that when it burns off, the skin will be replaced. You see? So they can eat shit and live. They can drink piss and live because their body's so healthy. They could live off of that. And that's the hell they're going to be in. Would you want to be in hell like that? You can't even die. You're so healthy. See? So in other words, if you get burnt, so they can keep burning you forever. You can keep healing. That's what the Quran says. See? And it says, Jesus says, the worm will never die, means their sex drive will be so powerful it won't be satisfied. They can't satisfy it, like little rabbits run around. So you're going to have constantly want sex 24/7 because the sex drive will be so strong. So you'll be chasing women because there ain't going to be no family ties, there ain't going to be no groups. And everybody's going to be on their own because everybody be scared of each other because the only thing to eat, the best thing to eat is each other. So you're going to have no family ties whatsoever. And so you're going to want women, and you're going to be so successful. You're going to be chasing them like rabbits constantly. And if you catch one of them, right, you're going to be eating her while you're having sex with her. So she'll be fighting you. That's the hell that we have prepared for you. Hope you understand, brother, sister. Judgment. Court's in order. Court's in order, brothers and sisters. You vipers, we're going to catch up with you in a few more days. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Let's close out with our our audio, brothers and sisters. Okay, fire zone. This is a black alert. Fire zone out. And for you brothers and sisters, right? You video brothers and sisters, hope you understand. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Court's in session. Assalamu alaikum.